said is perfectly correct. Okay, so API. So, like Farin said, it's a application integration. Some one application to another application. Okay, so that is called an API. So, like I said, so here we have multiple applications, right? SAP CRM application and database application, FTP application, web portals application. Okay, now nowadays more applications are coming on cloud. Okay, and they are providing ODATA APIs or ODATA APIs or SOAP APIs like that. Okay, they are providing that. Why they are providing that? Because the data, that specific data, can be consumed by some other applications. Okay, so that is how APIs happen. Okay, the data. Sorry, guys. Okay, like I said, CRM application. Okay, if you consider two SAP applications like SAP CRM and SAP's ECC, okay, if both are in same SAP, okay, but both are different boxes altogether. Okay, so they provide some APIs as services. We call it as services as well. Okay, they provide some services to consume in other application. Okay, from one application like S4 HANA, we are integrating with CRM application. Okay, from S4 HANA, we get the data from for CRM, for customer data. Let's say customer data, we want to fetch it from S4 HANA and update in CRM. Okay, so for fetching data, SAP S4 HANA has to provide some API, right? Some API they have to provide, and that API has to be consumed within C4C to get that customer's data. Okay, that CRM will call that API, okay, and get the data. That API can be anything. Actually, in SAP, we have a separate interfaces directly. But apart from those, we have APIs as well. Nowadays, every application is going on APIs. So even S4 HANA also providing APIs for that, OData APIs. Okay, so that API will provide you some data. Okay, like someone said, the API will provide some data. When we call the request, when we send a request to API, it will give some response. It will give some data. Okay, whether it is after calculation or whether it is from some database table or anything, that doesn't matter. Okay, that API will give some data. That's it. Okay, it works like request and response. That's it. Okay, so let me explain that with some example. Okay, food order booking and receiving flow. Okay, so let's compare our API or web service with food order booking. Okay, open app, browse restaurant. Okay, in Zomato, what we'll does, we'll open the Zomato or Swiggy, anything. Okay, we will open the tab, we'll browse the restaurant, looks through the menu, right? So once we select the restaurant, then we go through the menu, and then we'll choose a pizza or anything, choose an item, and we'll place the order, right? So once we place the order, once the customer places the order, what it does, it will send a confirmation to the restaurant. Okay, let's say customer placed an order with the Pizza Hut. Okay, once she placed the order, that order will be sent to Pizza Hut. Okay, in Pizza Hut, who will receive the order? Pizza Hut kitchen will receive the order. Okay, and they confirm the order. Okay, once we confirm the order, customer will get to know that. Okay, the confirmation will be sent to them. After that, after the confirmation, he will send the pizza. Okay, delivery agent will be assigned, and once the order is prepared, the agent will deliver the food. Right? So here, customer doesn't know what he is doing. Okay, what restaurant is doing inside their kitchen. Okay, how he is preparing, and how many people are there, and how they are processing this much fast. So everything, customer doesn't bother about anything. Okay, well, customer, what he does, what he understands some layman language, he understand only English. Okay, and he uh, open the app, and he place the order. And in the restaurant, he doesn't know how she places the order. Okay, from the kitchen, the chef, he doesn't know how, who placed the order, and the details, anything he doesn't know. He just receive the order, he will process the order, right? He will prepare the order, and he will give it to, hand over it to this guy, delivery guy. Okay, and once the delivery guy is assigned, he will take the order and deliver to the customer, right? So here like protocols are like, here the protocol is like over internet, and here the protocol is like through some scooter or some vehicle, right? He delivering the order using some medium. Okay, so these kind of some API. Okay, so customer requesting the restaurant, the order will be sent to the restaurant, and from the restaurant, the order will be coming back to the customer, like that. Okay, so irrespective of protocol, irrespective of anything, these interfaces works. Zomato is kind of a middleware here. Okay, Zomato takes the order from customer, and Zomato will place the order to the different restaurants, right? So here it's a kind of API. Okay, so API will be provided to customer, and one API provided to restaurant. Okay, restaurant will consume that API, and they will check the orders, and customer will check the API, and they will choose the order. Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so this is what the food delivery process we discussed. Now API or web services process. So in web services, API hub or UDDI, like APIs can be found in some catalog. Okay, we call it as catalog service, or UDDI service we call it. Okay, where we can find number of APIs. Okay, so for each and every application, if even in SAP we have some API hub, api.sap.com. So we can go into the API hub, and we can search for a relevant API. Okay, and we can consume that API. Okay, it's like a catalog. Okay, that is API hub or UDDI service, anything. And browse APIs. So once you access the catalog, you browse through APIs, and then you choose an API and test API. Like that is ordering an API. Request goes to where? To the server. Source of API. Source of API will be receiving the request, and protocol API super REST. Okay, this is how the scooter or whatever the medium is the protocol. It's kind of protocol, and result will be sent to the customer as a response. Request and response. That's it. Okay, so once the customer place an order, it will be sent to the server, and from the server, response will be receiving back to the customer. That's it. Okay, so API is kind of application programming interface. So whether it is a API or web service, it solves the same purpose. Okay, it works on SOAP or OData like that. Okay, we are going to discuss more on those protocols as well. Okay, any questions, guys?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so like you people only said, it works on request response. The API will listen to request and it will send a response. Okay, and even we have so many APIs in our real world, like currency converter. What currency converter would be required for everyone. Okay, and even trading. Let's consider the market trading. Okay, right. That market trading will update each and every second, right? Okay, that APIs will be consumed by many of the trading apps. Okay, and those trading apps will continuously pull that API and get the data from the market. Right? From the market, it will get all the details and will show it. Money control is there, some other app is there, anything. Okay, any app. They use the backend as a web service. Okay, APIs. Okay, they get the APIs from the BSC or NSA, those markets are there, right? So they get the data from them, okay, using an API, and they will update in their application, in their website, anything. And let's say cricket score. So how cricket score? Cricket score can be provided by some ESPN Star or Star Sports, anyone, right? So whoever get those bids, okay, win those bids, they will be providing in the broadcast, right? So they can provide
Yes, sir.
some web service to the applications. Like even if I have a web application, I want to integrate a part of it for cricket score. Okay, so what I would do, I would pay Star Sports some amount of money, okay, and get that API and integrate that API within our website. Okay, that API, what it will does, it will get the cricket score every second or every 3 seconds, every 5 seconds, anything, how whatever way it works. Okay, that gets the data and display it in your own website. This is another example. And other examples, let's say if you are buying a goods, okay, if you are buying it from Amazon US, not from India. Okay, if you are buying from Amazon US, what it will does, it will give you the uh, rate in USD, but what you have to pay, you don't know how to pay in USD, right? So one API will get the conversion rate, USD conversion rate. So at that particular point of time, how much is the value in USD? Okay, that will calculate and that will convert USD into INR and show it to us so that we will pay that particular amount. That's it. So nowadays, if you can compare everything with the API, application programming interface. So one application to integrate with that application, what are available APIs? That's it. Okay, earlier we call it, we were calling as web services. Now it is API. That's it. Okay, web service or APIs, both are same. Solve the same purpose. You don't have to bother about two words. Okay, no, nowadays everyone is calling it as APIs. That's it. Whether it is a SOAP, irrespective of protocols. Okay, SOAP protocol, ODATA protocol. REST protocol, HTTP protocol. So these are all the protocols. So irrespective of any protocol, we call it as API. Okay. So nowadays, we most of the times we discuss about OData and SOAP APIs. So earlier we were working with SOAP APIs. Okay, there was no OData in earlier times. Only SOAP APIs were there. And nowadays, OData is gaining popularity. So many of them are using OData. Okay, let's discuss about these two protocols. Types of APIs. We have two types of web services widely used across enterprises, SOAP and OData. What is SOAP? Simple Object Access Protocol, and OData, Open Data Specifications. Okay, so these are the two types majorly we work on. Now let's start with SOAP, Simple Object Access Protocol. SOAP works on XML only. Okay, so SOAP only works on XML. So this was there since many of the years. Okay, since beginning. SOAP was there, used mainly to perform operations like change service notification, create new hire, post, back, updates, etc. Okay, so SOAP also the same thing. It listens to the request and sends a response. It's kind of like it always works on HTTP post. Okay, so it always expects some request and gives some response. Okay, if you want to update something in the backend, okay, you can send a request and that will get updated, and updation request, it will be sent back. Okay, and create a new hire, like if a new employee is added, if you want to enable him, okay, you can call the SOAP service and you can add him. Okay, so you mostly in terms of updates or getting some data, we will be using this. Easier to build. Okay, SOAP services are easy to build, slightly difficult to read and parse due to complex XML format, slightly slower than REST. Okay, so this is correct, guys. Slightly difficult to read and parse due to complex XML format. So as I told you, SOAP only works on XML. So it will be like a little bit difficult to parse the XML, slightly slower than REST, because SOAP, it's a separate protocol. I will be showing that protocol how it is. Okay, SOAP will be containing some SOAP headers and SOAP body. Okay, so it will be like some heavier than the REST or OData. Okay, so that's why SOAP is little bit slower and a little bit complex. WS security can be used extensively. So what is WS security? It's security, like I told you, right? In case of transactions with the bank. So if you want to transact with the bank, what you have to do? You have to apply securities. Okay, or else business partners. If you have um, is a very secret business with your partner, okay, maybe if you feel like uh, if the client or vendor says my uh, data should be secure, okay, if sensitive, the data should be sensitive, because they don't want to leak any of the prices or anything. Okay, so in that case, business partners or banks would ask for the security. So that security we can achieve using web service security. Okay, it's a separate concept, guys. It will be like encryption would be there, and signing signature would be there, like that. Okay, so use service interface to expose the business logic. So SOAP is it's kind of a service interface. It will be like a wrapper. Okay, you will understand interface a little bit later. SAP PAPO is based on specific SOAP protocol. So even as I told you, so earlier we were using only SOAP, majorly SOAP. Okay, that time ODATA was not there, REST was not there. Okay, so that time SAP PAPO emerged in 2013 around 2003, sorry, not 13, 2003. So there, SAP PAPO, they completely built it on SOAP protocol. Okay, when you go inside the PAPO, you will get to see similar kind of SOAP protocol. Okay, we call it as XSOAP. Okay, so the next is UDDI is used for publishing services. Universal Discovery Design and Discovery Integration. Something would be like that. Okay, this kind of a catalog service. So once the developer develops the API or so service, so what he does, he publish it in some UDDI, some registry. Okay, once he uh, enroll that in registry, and whoever in need, they can go through that UDDI and get the data, use that API. That's it. It's like a service catalog, right? Like we have discussed here, API Hub or UDDI. So it's kind of a catalog. We can browse through the catalog and choose an API like that. OData is derivative of REST or built on top of it. Okay, OData is nothing but a REST API only. And here one more point I forgot to mention. SOAP uses WSDL, Web Service Description Language. Okay, it's a kind of metadata for SOAP service. So what the SOAP inside of that SOAP service, we can check using WSDL, Web Service Description Language. Okay, so that we'll discuss in detail what is WSDL and all. Okay, so that's a metadata. Metadata means that what is metadata? That describes the service. Okay, so how the service is built, and within that service, what are the elements are there, what are the nodes are there, and what are the ports are there, so what is service interface, what messages are there, etc., etc. All the information will be provided in WSDL. Okay, coming to OData. OData is derivative of REST. Okay, so what is REST? It's a representational state trans for protocol, something is there. Okay, so that is REST. Guys, REST is basically it's kind of HTTP only. Okay, HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. So whenever you access a web browser, okay, if you click on yahoo.com or msn.com, right? So if you go to the leftmost of the URL, it will start with HTTP, right? www.https://yahoo.com,
Yes. Yes, sir.
right? Like that
Yeah.
it would be there. Yeah, so that's a protocol, that's a HTTP protocol. Okay, so whatever the APIs which works on HTTP, those are all REST APIs. Okay, so these APIs also, like it also listen to the request and send a response. Okay, and whether it is a JSON, XML, or raw data, like any without any format, some text data, anything it can listen for REST. Okay, but OData will be like based on Atom or JSON format. Okay, we'll come to that. Atom is based on XML and JSON is like JSON. JSON we have a format, right? we are going to discuss that. And useful to expose services or APIs. So nowadays OData is very popular and it works on HTTP methods: get, post, upsert, update, put. So those are all methods OData also uses. We uses HTTP methods like get, post, update, delete, etc. Okay, industry standards: HTTP, XML, Atom, JSON. So these are also open standards. And all the APIs are open standards only. They're based on open standards. If it is not open standards, that cannot be consumed by any other. So what is open standards? It's basically like understand by anything. Okay, any application or any browser or anything like. Okay, so that is called open standards. Okay.
Yes, sir.
REST-based architecture. Okay. REST-based architecture like HTTP protocol. Okay, so REST-based architecture means it only works on HTTP protocol. So this is also the same. OData also works on HTTP protocol. Support versioning schema. Okay, so schema can be versioned, and metadata available using EDMX. Okay, in case of SOAP service, what we were having? We were having like WSDL, Web Service Description Language, right? But in case of OData, we have EDMX. Okay, EDMX, it's a different type of file, but it contains the metadata of that service. So what are the methods it has, and what are the entities, what are the entity sets, what are the association between entities. So those are all kind of information we will be having in EDMX. Okay, so you don't have to worry much about all these terms, WSDL, EDMX. Okay, for now you just have to concentrate about XML, JSON, these two things, and HTTP. Okay, so you just concentrate about these protocols and get some idea. Okay, that will help us in building the iFlows integration.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Basically, we will use JSON format or Atom format.
Both are supported in OData, but if you compare to SOAP only works on XML. Okay, so that is why OData is gaining popularity. OData is working, can work on REST and XML both, JSON and Atom both. So this is how, if you want very lighter applications, you can use JSON.
Yes.
Okay, so the response would be very fast.
Yeah.
Okay, JSON is very lighter than compared to XML.
Excellent.
Okay, so that is how OData works on Atom and JSON both. So that's why OData is gaining more popularity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, I'm taking a pause. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions.
No, sir.
No.
No doubt.
Hello, sir.
No doubt.
No,
Yeah.
sir.
Sir, this SOAP is an API which in turn contains more API.
I didn't understand your question for it. SOAP is an
Sir,
API. It's an API only, but it doesn't contains any other APIs.
It is basically a API that works using XML.
Yes. Okay. It works on like actually, as I told you, the APIs, all the APIs are open standards. So what it works on open standard means it built on top of open standards. So API built on what? XML, HTTP, right? So these are open standards. So that can be understood by any browser, any application, or any of the system as well. Okay, so that is how we call it as open standards.
So OData and SOAP both are open standard APIs.
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay, sir.
So they're built on top of open standards. They use open standards to build.